Asus's ROG Mothership brings a whole new meaning to the idea of a desktop replacement. It's basically an all-in-one PC that's masquerading as a laptop. So when you first look at it, it really just looks like a laptop, but when you open this machine up, you'll see how unique it is. The screen has a hinge in the back that pops out to support the weight, and this keyboard folds down, but it can also come apart and be removed entirely from the screen. So what you're left with is something that looks like an all-in-one desktop setup. It's a unique design, and it seems like more than just a gimmick. Asus says that some gamers don't even want to have their laptop keyboard in the way, so since this is a wireless connection, you could just move it entirely and replace it with your favorite mechanical. But on its own, it's also a little more comfortable, a little more ergonomic than sitting and hunching down in front of a laptop. And the real reason Asus went with this design, not only to look new and make it look interesting, it's really all about cooling. As they were developing new ideas for machines, Asus found that if they held up one of their laptops vertically, it really improved cooling. So that means they're able to cram in really powerful CPUs up to the Intel 8950HK and NVIDIA's new RTX 20 series graphics. So you just can cram a ton of power in there, but they don't have to liquid cool it. They can deal with it all through air cooling, which I think is pretty impressive for a machine this size. The 17.3-inch screen has a 1080p resolution, supports up to 144 Hz, and it has G-Sync support, of course. As for other hardware, the ROG Mothership will be able to fit in up to 64 GB of RAM, and it has RAID 0 storage with 3 512GB NVMe SSDs. So that's just a lot of storage, but also really fast, really powerful storage there too. What's really interesting about this machine is that there's just so much customizability involved. You have your choice of how you want to orient the keyboard. The keyboard can also just fold in half, so it'll take up less room even on a desktop. The downside with the keyboard, it's not like a portable mechanical design. It's still membrane based, but it seems pretty comfortable from what I've used, and there's a lot of key travel. I think it goes up to 2.5 millimeters. It also connects to the machine over 2.4 gigahertz wireless, so it's a strong reception there, very little lag time, and should be much better than Bluetooth. Asus tells us that they've been exploring many different design concepts over the past few years, and they even had this idea like 3 years ago, but they shelved it because the technology just wasn't there yet. I think what the ROG Mothership shows is that with more efficient CPUs, better graphics as well, and graphics that work better in tighter spaces, there's a lot that PC makers can do with machines like this. And at CES, we're seeing all sorts of new gaming laptops from every company, really. And I think it really just shows that what you think a gaming laptop is probably going to change in the next couple years. Now, clearly the ROG Mothership isn't for everybody. This isn't something I just recommend anybody just pick up. But what's really interesting is that somebody who's a competitive gamer or just a very serious gamer who wants to bring a full, powerful rig around, they can bring this thing, they can prop it up, set it up, and have a really comfortable gaming setup. It's like a no-compromise experience. I think with most gaming laptops, you're losing a little. And even some gamers who have gaming laptops prefer to connect external monitors so they get a wider display and maybe a little more space away from the keyboard. Just looking at the ROG Mothership, you could tell it's just a beast. It looks really impressive. The body is made out of slabs of aluminum. The design is really very sharp. There are a lot of sharp edges around there. It's not a really friendly design. It looks like something meant to do some serious gaming work. And it weighs about 10.3 pounds. That's definitely kind of hefty, but I think given the size and given what you can do with the machine and how you can kind of customize how you're using it, that could be really useful. Asus isn't giving us any pricing details for the ROG Mothership yet, but hopefully we'll hear some details soon. And you can also expect that this is not going to be a machine that you'll see at Best Buy or a typical electronics store. It's probably going to be more of a limited edition type thing, maybe that you can buy online, and I don't even know if Asus is going to be making many of these. So clearly this is a really interesting PC design from Asus, and it really just shows that this is a company that isn't afraid to experiment a little. At Computex this year, we saw a dual screen PC concept that they say that they're going to release next year. It's just really exciting to see what Asus is coming up with these days. Stay tuned to Engadget.com for more news from CES 2019.